pardon me if I say that like you never have sex with men
Never
before when you grow up. You don't fancy.
I had zero interest in men whatsoever.
But okay, but you just want to be a woman. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the DotAsia Presents. I'm Coco Pop, a Hong Kong drag queen. Today I'm very happy to introduce you my friend, Kiri Howard.
Hi, as Coco said, my name is Kiri Howard. I am a transgender woman living here in Hong Kong. I'm originally from Ontario, Canada. I've been here for 12 years now. I am a cosplayer, model maker, filmmaker, and teacher. And I am doing a project called BecomingKiri, DotAsia, that we will be talking a little bit about today as well.
As a drag queen, I've been working in this industry like over 18 years. But as I remember, when I was a children, I never think about it. I want to be a woman, but I just love to perform. So how about your childhood? How's this happen?
Well, I have been aware of my my transness pretty much my entire life. My earliest childhood memories, from around 5 years old, I knew that I was a girl, you know, but everybody told me I was a boy, and I couldn't understand why they thought this, because I knew I was a girl. And then as I grew up and I could tell the differences between boys and girls, I understood what they were saying, but it still didn't make sense, because even though I would look down and I would see a boy, that wasn't me.
Oh, did you tell this feeling to the people around you, like your parents or your cousin or uncle?
You know, I tried from time to time. When I was very young, they basically just dismissed it as, you know, a little kid's playing. But when I got older, I think about the age of 12 or 13, I went to my dad and I said to him, you know, Dad, would you still love me if I was a girl? And the conversation was relatively short, but he made it very clear to me that it wasn't what I was, it was who I was that he loved. And that really gave me my first taste of unconditional love.
What about your mom? Like, is she know about that? Or because normally this kind of like a girly wishes, it will be more tended to tell to the mother instead of father.
My mom was very against this, to the point that she basically blew up, and I got scared and I went back in the closet for another 20 some odd years. You know, and then in the mid 90s, when I got my first computer with internet connection, actually be able to differentiate between what I was and a drag performer, because I didn't really know there was any such thing as transgender. I mean, even the verbiage wasn't there when I was growing up in Canada. But then I started going on the internet and joining, you know, groups on like IRC chat and stuff like that. And I started learning more about it. For some reason, just the social climate that I was in at the time, I got cold feet. And I basically just shut it all down, pushed it all away, and I thought, no, you know, I'm a man. I have to be manly. I have to do manly stuff. You know, I joined the army. I played football in high school. I, you know, got into motorcycles and cars and mechanics. And
you still like that?
I like cars and I like mechanics, but I don't like breaking my nails.
I understand. So, that's interesting. But how come you came to Hong Kong? Like, what is the story?
So the story coming to Hong Kong, you know, because I was trying to push this away and make this disappear. I was doing all the manly stuff, and one of those things was get married, have a family. Well, I met my now ex-wife on an internet dating site. I was one of the pioneers, actually. It was not common back then, back in 2008. But we met on the internet. I came over and visited Hong Kong. We decided to get married. So we got married at the shut-in wedding registry.
Okay.
And I returned back to Canada, basically packed my things and moved to Hong Kong.
Oh, okay. So what are you doing in Hong Kong when you first came here?
For the past 12 years, I was a teacher.
Kindergarten
and learning centers, teaching drama as well. And that was, it was great. It was very rewarding. However, the conservative nature of the Hong Kong education system has made things rather difficult since I came out.
I can imagine.
I was outright fired when I first came out. They basically said, yeah, we don't want you here. And I've been denied employment and rejected many, many times now. And it's always the same story. When I show them my ID and it still has that male under gender and I look like this, they always seem to have a reason why I'm no longer qualified. And I can put two and two together. So that's why I'm doing this fundraiser to facilitate that. I've been unemployed for quite some time now, and if it weren't for my dad helping me out, I would be homeless. So this is my last best chance. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this was part of my my journey anyway.
I understand.
But now I'm doing it for more than just that. Yes, I could go back to Canada and it would be much easier. But Hong Kong has become my home.
I see.
You know, I have friends here. I have my son, who, since coming out to him, we've gotten so close. I mean, I wasn't the greatest father.
Is he living with you at the moment?
The custody agreement, he's with her during the week at school, and then I have him on the weekends.
Okay.
And he's always so excited to come over. During this whole coronavirus thing, when the kids weren't going to school, he was at my house for an entire week. Because he could do the online schooling from my place. He didn't have to, you know, ship off to school every day. So he was really happy about that, and so was I. I mean, this little boy is my biggest supporter. When I first came out back in 2018, my dysphoria kicked into high gear, and it got worse and worse, to the point I was becoming physically ill.
Okay.
I couldn't handle it. The stress and the anxiety were causing me to miss work, you know, days, sometimes even weeks. You know, it was getting really, really bad. And then it all came to a head around December of 2018, when I found myself on the edge of the Chiang Bridge. And I was going to I was going to do it because I just couldn't take it anymore. And I decided to, no, you know, it's the holidays. My dad is come over from Canada and he was at my house. My son was over for the Christmas holidays. Yeah. I said, you know, no, I have to at least say goodbye to them in person before I do this. So, sorry.
No, never mind.
So,
never mind.
I got off the bridge, I went home, and they were asleep. I don't know what I was thinking that I would actually be able to go through with it after waiting that long, but that was my plan. I was going to wait, and then I was going to go, and I was going to jump. So I decided to pass the time playing my role-playing game online. And
did that save your life?
It did. It really did, actually. So that I got online and they said, "Oh, hey, Kiri, you just got a new gaming headset, right?" Because I was always making the excuse that I couldn't talk because my headset was broken.
Okay. Yada,
yada. I did have a voice changer on my computer that made me sound, you know, really cute and girly and everything like that. It was great. But I was always worried about it. And they were like, "Oh, you got a new gaming headset. Why don't we go on voice chat?" I'm like, okay, I got the voice changer and why not? So I did. But I didn't realize that I hadn't set the voice changer up for this new headset.
Okay.
So I heard my cute, bubbly little cat girl voice.
Yes.
They heard my unmodified male voice.
Okay.
And these are people that I've been playing with for almost a year.
Yes.
And they knew who I was, but they thought I was a woman. The only one person that knew about me wasn't there at the time, but the only reaction I got out of any of them, and there was about 10 of them online at one time, he said, "Oh, well, that's not what I expected." And then we carried on. And then the one who did know about me came home from work and she hopped online. "Kiri, the cat is out of the bag." "What do you mean?" She's like, "They know." How could they know? I'm using my voice changer. Like, how could they possibly know? So she messaged to the one guy, said, "I just sent you a private message. I just want you to answer here in the group chat, M or F." So of course you know what she asked.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden on the screen I see M pop up. And I was like, gotta go. And I disconnected and I was gonna delete everything, and you know, I was absolutely mortified. But then I started getting private messages from the other group. I'm, "Kiri, are you okay? Why'd you leave so suddenly? Like, is something wrong?" So I calmed down and I went back in to the group chat, but text only. I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. And I basically laid it all out.
Okay.
And I told them, and it was at that point that I honestly admitted to myself that I was transgender.
Okay. When was that?
This was December 18th.
Okay.
Or December of 2018, sorry.
Okay.
Their reaction when I came in and I said, you know, "Look, I'm transgender." And they're like, "We don't care. You're still the same bubbly cat girl we know and love.
Okay, that's
and
good.
We've known all this time. No problem." You know, and that was what gave me the courage to come out in real life. Was that, you know, unfiltered acceptance. And also, to just kind of segue, my character in the game was named Kiri Morning.
Okay.
And because of all of the very deep, intense role-playing that I'd done with Kiri, and what I had learned later on about the name, was what made me decide to take it as my own. It means, Kiri means in Japanese, Paulownia tree, which is a flowering tree very similar to the sakura, which has always been my favorite flower. Oh. And my character in the game was proposed to under a sakura tree. So all of these things connecting together and the name's meaning, I said, my name is Kiri. After all this incident in December of 2018, I went to talk to my dad, and I told him. He was the first person I came out to in real life. And it took me about 5 hours to say, Dad, I'm transgender. Okay. Just because
it's not easy.
It was very difficult.
Even as I'm gay. So when I talk to my mom, I've been thinking a long time. It's just one day she just asking me like, "Oh, do you like to hang out with boys?" I say, "Do you mean I'm gay?" And she said, "Are you?" I said, "Yes." And then I go back to the bedroom, like do the other thing. I was just not talking to her. I said, "Yes." And then I'll just run away, don't want to continue. But I understand the difficulty.
And then came the time to tell my son. And I was terrified. Because how would he react? I mean, at the time, he was 8 years old. How was this kid going to react to his dad saying that he was a woman? And there wasn't a lot of support and resources for a trans parent.
Yeah.
Lots if the kid is trans, not so much if the parent is trans.
Yeah, I know.
So I gave him a few primers because he's had zero experience with the LGBT community before that. And so I gave him a few pointers, or a few primers rather. And you know, some boys like to kiss other boys, and some girls like to marry other girls, and you know, some people don't feel like they are the same gender that they look like. And you know, he kind of got all this stuff, and he denies it, but he seems to have been picking up on this even before we had our talk, because he would just randomly pop up, you know, I think people should be able to live their lives however they want. This is an 8-year-old. However they want. You know, they don't need to be normal. What is normal anyway? And he actually used air quotes as we were walking down the street. What is normal anyway? People should just be able to live and be happy. You know, and after those things, I basically said, okay, it's time to tell him. So I sat him down and I said, look, I'm transgender and this is what that means. And he looked at me and went, cool. I thought maybe he just didn't understand. And so I asked him to repeat it all, and he had it all down pat. And I said, well, how do you feel about that? And he goes, okay.
Did he know about what is transgender before you came out to him?
Before that, no.
Okay.
I explained it to him, and then when I asked him how he felt about that, and he just kind of basically said, yeah, okay, no problem. I didn't know if he really did understand. Then, when I had him repeat it all and explain it in his own words, he got it dead on. He knew exactly what it was, and he was totally fine with it. Like it was the most normal thing in the world.
Okay.
And then I asked him, well, do you still want me to pick you up from school? Yeah. I said, even if I'm dressed like this? He goes, yeah, of course. And again, like it's the most normal thing. He just got this, and this little boy, 8 years old, it's like, yeah, of course, you know? And I said, well, what if your classmates say mean things about me? And he gave me this look and put his hands on his hips, and he looked around. I will tell them to buzz off. I was like, oh, come here, give me, you know.
So what?
And I knew things were going to be okay at that point.
For him, yes. But did he did he tell it about you to his classmate, or when you see the other parents, what do you know what they think? Are you friend of some of the parents, or do you know any other transgender parents in Hong Kong?
I don't know very many trans people in Hong Kong, but one of the parents, he had gotten very close to the little boy who happens to live very close to my home in Sai Kung. And this was when I was going to start full-time as Kiri.
Yeah.
And I was really worried about, I was really worried about him losing this really good friend.
Yeah.
So I contacted mother.
Yes.
And I explained everything, and she's like, "Oh, that's okay." I find a lot more acceptance in the younger Hong Kong people than in the older. Not that they're hostile. That's one thing I can be very thankful of here in Hong Kong. They're not hostile. I don't have people throwing things at me and calling me names or anything. I just get, rude stares.
So basically in Hong Kong, the discrimination from the neighborhood, it seems fine. It's not that serious, right? Even you live in Sai Kung or in the new territories.
It's basically, it's very low key. Okay. It's not the really nasty stuff that you see in the West. And that's a really big thing that I like about over here. Even if they don't accept you, they're not.
They will still accept you.
They'll
in
accept
some
you.
way.
Yeah.
But they don't. They just not embrace you. Like, you look great or something. But
like
okay, you do what you like.
The worst I get is old people staring at me as I walk by.
Yes,
that's
I understand. Yeah, I find it's easy in Hong Kong as long as you don't get too close to them. They will be fine with us.
Yeah,
they will be just let us live what we like. I think they didn't try to forget or not see the transgender people, because in our growing up we don't see much transgender. Even like, take me as example, a drag queen.
Right.
I don't think they see anyone. I mean drag queen, like the performing drag queen in the nightclubs, and like me, they don't see anyone like this when they grow up. They only see it on TV, that kind of a funny show. So it takes like last maybe 10 or 8 years ago, when the RuPaul Drag Race hit the world, and then it seems the younger generation will understand that, oh, this is drag queen. And then people start to knowing, oh, this is transgender. So for the last 2 years, I think overall in the world, the transgender community get a lot of exposure and in a very high profile. And what do you think about that?
That is kind of a double-edged sword for me, because yes, we're getting more exposure, but it's not always good exposure. And that can be harmful as well as helpful, because on the good side, because there's so much more resources for trans people than there was only a few years ago. I mean, I'm a perfect example. More trans people are having the courage to come out and be able to live their authentic life without jumping off a bridge, for example. Because that's unfortunately the route that a lot of us have gone, because we didn't think there was any way we could be ourselves. But now we're seeing that we can, and it's okay. And there are people that are there that understand us and that are like us, that want to help us. But on the other hand, the people who refuse to be open-hearted and open-minded now have more targets. So it's kind of a, give a little, take a little, good and bad at the same time. I think one of the things that could be done for our LGBT community in general is to remember that we are all in it together.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're in America or Germany or Japan or Hong Kong, we're all connected through the internet. We all have a common need and community that we can share with each other. So I think one of the things that we really need to work at is to stop all of the segregation that's happening within our own community.
So that's why we need to work as like one community. It seems happening to the gay and lesbian community, because for the last 20 years, the same-sex marriage is accepted by mostly developed country, and then but we gain more attack by the conservative group. It's happening like Taiwan, same as in Hong Kong. So I'm still believe to see more.
Well, are you married?
Yeah, I'm just married.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, maybe like
Congratulations.
thank you. Like 3 months ago, but this marriage is still not recognized by Hong Kong government. So I hope if one day in Hong Kong that everyone can marry, including like gay and lesbian and transgender. So if you can, you marry a man or woman now?
I mean, this is very new to me. I was never into guys before I started my transition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the hormones did some really weird stuff to me, and I was not prepared for it at all.
So pardon me if I say that like you never have sex with men
Never, yeah.
before. When you grow up, you don't fancy.
I had zero interest in men whatsoever.
But okay, but you just want to be a woman. Okay.
And then after I started my hormone therapy, my libido went right down the toilet for about 7 months.
Okay.
And then when it came back, I started seeing guys and going, oh, he's kind of cute. What? What are you talking about?
What's new you?
And I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, I like girls. I'm a lesbian. Wait, or maybe I don't. Because I started realizing when I looked at women, it was the admiration of their femininity that I was looking at, not a sexual attraction. Whereas guys, it was definitely a sexual attraction. Yes. So, and I was not ready for this at all. I've heard it happens, but I'm like, it happens to other people. It's not going to happen to me. Oh yeah, it did. Girl, it did. And it happened hard.
Yeah, like everyone says, sexual orientation is like a spectrum. So so sometimes you will like girl more, and sometimes you're going to betray.
And they say,
like men.
you know, that
And then like
for those of you who think that sexual orientation is a choice, I did not choose this. This was unexpected and very difficult. I did not want this. It's not a choice.
It's come as a bonus.
It's a bonus. Yes.
Or like forgive. Okay, let's get into the point, the most important part. So I know you set up a new website. It's called www.BecomingKiri.Asia. Can you tell us about more what about this website and what's inside and how we can help you? Okay.
I have a fundraiser, as we mentioned before, for my surgery, that I'm running through that as well.
So what is the goal? Like how much?
My goal is $10,000 US.
Okay.
So I am now just over 5,000.
Okay.
I do have my surgery date booked.
When?
It is July 22nd. I really hope I don't have to reschedule this. They're booking very fast now because I'm having it done in Thailand.
Yeah.
They are very experienced with this type of surgery.
Yeah.
And they're to help fight the COVID-19 stuff. They are starting to open up, and the bookings are going really fast. They're already booked right through to the end of August. So I'm doing that, and I'm also working with a very dear friend on a documentary about my story. It's called BecomingKiri.
Okay.
Hence the website's name.
Yeah.
And it's to document the process from, you know, my initial coming out all the way into post-operative recovery. I'm also doing a personal vlog on my YouTube channel, updating semi-regularly on that a couple times a week when any new developments come up.
So what else is all or these 3 parts you are doing, and what about the future, and what do you think?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing with my vlog, and this was part of my commitment to my fundraiser, is I'm doing live streams throughout into, you know, the going over to Thailand for the surgery, in the recovery in Thailand, and then also here back in Hong Kong, trying to cover the whole process and give viewers, you know, real-time access so they can ask questions on the spot and that sort of thing. But it's all to allow or to broaden the scope of what we have available for the trans community. Because, you know, a lot of this stuff wasn't available for me when I came out, and you know, I had to figure a lot of it out myself.
Yes.
If I can make it easier for somebody else, if I can help somebody else with my story, then mission accomplished.
Yeah, I'm totally understand, because when I'm growing up, I don't have anyone to look up to. Sometimes I'm thinking, am I sick? Because I don't want to become a woman, but I want to dress up as a woman. And also because my voice issue, my voice always like people misunderstanding I'm a girl. I used to be calling my classmate like, hi, I'm Mary, I want to go with you. And they believe it. That's one of my funny games. So yeah, but when I grow up, I don't see anyone I can learn, because I'm not growing up in the internet generation.
Right.
I'm growing up on early 90. So by that time, I'm just try to see it, and I'm trying to do it and then see if it's good for me. But I find out like to being yourself actually is most important, and there's also happy to being like freedomly to express yourself. So
I really need your help. I cannot do this without you. So if you can, go to BecomingKiri.asia and follow the link and contribute whatever you can and share it to all your friends. You can also follow along my journey as it develops through that as well.
I think Kiri have a really, really interesting and inspired story. Personally, not just about her transitioning at the moment, also her hobby, the way she's living, and her son and her family. I interested to know more. I really want to be successful in everything and in the future. And then I want to see your son one day and your wonderful fathers and your friend, and then we have a big party.
Absolutely.
And then we walk through it, and then we one day we see a better picture.
So please help me out. I need all the help I can get.